Mike Russin here, and today what I want to talk about is goals. Goals are so critically important. If you've ever listened to, and I encourage you to, it's free, it's on YouTube, The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. They do a study where they take 100 men and they follow them throughout their lives, and they look at the end of their lives, and I can't remember the exact statistics, but a lot of them, most of them, are broke by the time they're 65. A couple of them are doing okay. Even fewer are financially independent, and 1 out of those 100 is wealthy. So Earl Nightingale, he asks the question, he says, why out of 100 men, and so many of them, meant well, had integrity, were hardworking, he says, what separates the 1 to 5 that succeed from the 95 that don't? And the one thing that he says, the strangest secret, is goals. It seems so simple, and it's almost been trivialized because we say goals. You hear goals so much now in common language, but we really got to step back and think, what is a goal? What does goal setting actually entail? What does it actually mean, and why is it so important? You know, one of the first things that I would tell somebody starting off in businesses or in anything in life, whether it's athletics or business, is you've got to first identify, and this sounds like a no-brainer, but a lot of people don't even get this far, is you've got to identify what is your end goal. That's step number 1. Where do you want to end up? And we got to think big when we're doing this too. Step number 2 is we got to figure out what steps are necessary to achieving this goal. What steps are necessary to achieving this goal? We can't just end with having the goal. We got to be able to map it out. So you got to think to yourself, maybe it's a certain contract that you want at the place that you work. Maybe it's a certain position you want to start on the varsity team and you're younger or smaller. You got to have that goal in mind, and then you got to identify what steps do I need to take to get there. Number 3, set deadlines. I can't stress enough to you how important it is to set deadlines. So number 1, you got to have a goal. Number 2, you got to map it out. You got to map out the steps. You got to have the roadmap. And number 3, you got to set deadlines for yourself. Set dates. You know, in business, maybe you want to get a manager contract. You know, a lot of people ask me when they call me, you know, Mike, I want to be, you know, a GM, a general manager someday. And I ask them, okay, so what's the first step? And they tell me, and I say, when do you want to be there by? And they don't know. And they don't even know how to get there. Maybe you want to get your max bench up to 315 pounds. That's great. Where are you at right now? What steps are you going to take to get to 315? And when are you going to do it by? That's what I want to know as your coach in business and in life. So, you know, when we're thinking about goals, number 1, like I said, to reiterate, is we got to identify them. Number 2 is we got to map them out, have steps. And number 3 is we got to make sure that we have deadlines. Now, think about it this way. A lot of people don't look at the importance of goal setting, writing it down, mapping it out, and having deadlines. Imagine this. If we were on a ship and we didn't have a compass, we didn't have a captain, we didn't have a map, and we wanted to go from, you know, North America to Africa, and we just set sail with no compass, no map, no deadlines, when we're supposed to be here, when we're supposed to check in there. Imagine what would happen to us. We'd be floating around in the middle of the ocean, and that's what a lot of people are doing in life right now, is they're just floating, just existing. And Earl Nightingale says that the reason why a lot of people are like this is because they don't have goals. So I would encourage you guys today to, you know, not only have goals, but also have the steps necessary to get there, and then to set deadlines to yourself to hold yourself accountable. So it's been great talking to you guys. This is Mike Russin signing off for The Grind.